Hi there. My name is Christina McCaffrey, and I'm a broker with Triangle Trusted Realty here in the Triangle area of North Carolina. The Triangle area, in case you don't know, our area is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and it includes the capital, which is Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm doing this video today because I was just doing, it's the end of the year of 2018, and I was just doing review of the year. And I realized that this year I spent a good bit of time helping people in different parts of the country find realtors. I've had calls from, clients who moved out of the area, friends of clients who moved out of the area, family members. It's just really been interesting. So I figured I'm going to do a quick review because, this is something that people, don't frequently do. And I think sometimes, they go about the approach. There's some fallacies about how to find the right listing agent for you. So I'm going to try to talk about some of those and talk about maybe what the better approach would be. So some of the fallacies I've heard is that it's all about the company. So hire the company and you'll be fine. If it's a big name, it's really important to do that. Go ahead and hire them. It doesn't matter which agent it is inside the company. The company name is the more important thing. Especially in the seller's market, the agents don't have to do much to sell a home. All they have to do is, stick that sign out and put it in MLS. And if that's all they do, then it's more important. The sign's more important. The biggest agent, if you're looking, the biggest agent in the market is the best. They're the ones who are going to get things done for you. Only look at the biggest. Only look at the biggest. Let's see what else. Obviously the commission. You hear that all the time. And I got to tell you, real estate commissions are expensive. I pay them. Whenever I sell my houses, I have to pay the buyer's agent. So I know that's hard. It's a tough one. But so the commission rate is more important. Go with somebody who's just going to put the sign in the yard, put you on MLS, and pay the least amount possible, and you'll be good. So I'm going to start talking about those in general, and I'm going to start where I started with the biggest company, or the company name is the most important thing. So I have been in the business for coming up on 19 years now, and during that time I have worked for a company that had firms and that is well known. It's the number one in the country. Wonderful company. I actually really liked working with them. They were, it's a good, I don't know how to say that. It's a good vibe there. It's just a really good vibe. And so I worked with them for a long, long time. And I think that the thing that I've seen over time working in this industry is that the industry is made up of independent contractors. So even at that big firm, obviously all the agents were not the same. This is not McDonald's. So you'll have agents that have teams. You'll have agents that only do 1 or 2 deals a year. You'll have agents that are kind of rude. You'll have agents that are fantastic. You'll have agents that only concentrate on buyers. You only concentrate on sellers. So there's a big group of different options that you can look at. So whenever you say the sign, you just know that it might say McDonald's on the front of the cup, but you don't know what you're getting in that cup. So just be careful with it. I actually, when I've been with them for a good long time, and I realized that I wanted to do something different in my career. I thought about opening one of their franchises, and I also thought about opening a boutique and, my own. And over the years, I paid attention to, what's going on with, my business. and I had looked and seen that, they primarily the biggest, source of my business was previous customers and referrals. But I thought that they stayed with me because of that big name, because of that umbrella. Um, and so when I was trying to decide like what to do, I called some of my previous clients and I asked them, called a good many of them to be truthful. I asked quite a lot. I had two of them, which was really curious. I had two of them who said to me, Christina, what company do you work for? What company are you with? So it shocked me. It really shocked me. So just to be clear on it, if you feel good going with a company that has a big name, go ahead. But still do the due diligence within. Like just make sure that that person that you're hiring is the right fit. Okay? So if you want the big name, but it's not real. Truly, I don't know if it's going to do anything for you. I haven't had anybody say to me like, oh, you're not with a big name company. Nope. Business hasn't been hurt at all. In fact, it went up a wee bit. So then the other thing is, the biggest agent, go with the biggest agent. I'm going to go back to my own history too. When I first started in this business, I had a year where I sold like 40 houses by myself. I was run ragged. It was day and night. I felt like, I give a lot to my clients and I felt like I was stretched to the max. So I had to get an assistant. And unfortunately, I had to hand over some of the stuff I liked. I handed over marketing, love marketing. I handed over some other stuff and it was stuff I really liked. So I realized like, that's not for me. I'm not going to be like personally, I'm not going to be selling 120 units a year. I'm not that. I'm going to be somebody who's, selling enough to cover my bills and make some money, but is going to feel good at night and not have a heart attack. You know what I mean? And that was me. I was going to have a heart attack. Now, so if you're hiring the biggest, and they are selling 100 houses, you're hiring a team. There's no way in God's green earth that one person is doing that. There's just no way. And if they are doing it by themselves, how the hell are they doing it? They're not. They're just not doing it. You have to replicate yourself because there's a lot of steps that need to be done and there's not enough hours in the day. So just be clear on that. Like whenever you're talking to the person, they come into your house and they explain to you, ask about the team. Ask about, well, who handles the marketing? Who handles inspections? Who handles closings? How often will I see you? If I have a problem, who do I call? Do you have a problem with marketing and you have to call one person? If you have a problem with this, you have to call the other person. It's all very good. It might be fine with you and some of them got down to a science and it's wonderful. But just know what it is. I've seen people, say things like, well, I thought I was hiring, Joe, and, I ended up getting Joe, Lucy, Fred, Ethel. Fred and Ethel, you get it? I'm so stupid. Anyway, so just know that. Ask them how they do their business. Ask them, how do you handle it? If I have a problem, how can I reach you? Do you talk to me like once a week? If there's an emergency, will you call me back within 24 hours? All that sort of stuff. So you have to ask I think one of the other things that I would ask too is, are you going on vacation? And if so, who's handling it? And are you going to, are you going to be out of the country and like everything's shut down while you're listing my house? That's nerve-wracking. I need to have a backup. So then the other thing is, they all the same. I guess I already covered that. We're not all the same. Very, very different. And again, we're independent contractors. So what that means is basically you're, okay, I'll tell you about myself. I'm a single woman and, so I pay my own bills. I pay my own insurance. I pay my own health insurance. I pay for my own car payment. But if I was with that big company that I was with before, they weren't paying anything, even MLS, they may not even pay for the signs. They're given little things. And in fact, normally I'm handing them money to be under that umbrella. But pretty much every agent that you meet is handing over money. They're paying for access to MLS. They're paying, in my case, I'm paying for my own health care. They're paying for, their regular expenses. There's no paycheck coming in. The paycheck happens whenever you sit at a closing table. So you might have like you might see a big number there, but know that that is not the only, that's not like every day that they're getting that big number. And so things have to be stretched out. And there's also a lot of money that goes out. There's a lot of money that goes out to pay, So in the case of me, I pay for my signs, I pay for my marketing, I pay for my website, I pay for my car, I pay for my, just never ending. Nobody handed me, anything. It's all like, and furthermore, if I list your house, I am paying for the photographer that came in, the virtual tour. I'm paying for the floor plan that's drawn up. I'm paying for the boosted ads on Facebook. It's all out of my own pocket. On average, I can tell you, I average out about $1,000 per listing. I mean, a good bit, really a good bit. And so whenever I'm listing a house, I'm investing in it. I'm trying to get it sold because it's my money that's coming out of my pocket. So all that being said, when you're starting to talk to your agent about commission, if you think that the agent is just needing to put a sign in the yard and put it on MLS, then you might be okay with paying like them $800 to do that, and you'll negotiate everything. But realistically, that isn't the most beneficial. There has been studies that show that, for sale by owner or listings actually garner less. And part of the reason is because you're negotiating for yourself. What you really should be seeing instead is whenever you're sitting with the agent, when the agent comes to your house, they should be able to walk around your house, then sit down with you, and they should be able to tell you, like, your house should sell to this type of person. A family will want your house. And the reason that family will want your house is because the school's good here. You're on a cul-de-sac. They should be able to detail like what the deal is of why your house should sell. They should also be able to detail like what is cool in your house, what's great in your house, but what's not so cool in your house. And they should be able to tell you that very diplomatically. So, maybe it's the slope, maybe it's your tiny backyard, maybe it's the funky colors, but they should be able to tell you it and put it in perspective, give you a really good insight to what the buyers are looking for in the market. They should be able to detail what they're going to do to attract that person. So, for instance, if you and I were sitting down and I'd seen your house and I knew that a buyer was going to be a family, I would be able to tell you, like, okay, a family is probably going to buy your house, and this is what I'm going to do to attract them, and they should be thinking outside the box a little bit. I'll give you some of the very standard things I do, but I can tell you I do a lot of outside the box too. But some of the standard things is the photography. You should not have somebody who is going to pick up their cell phone and take pictures in your house. That's fine if you have an as-is house and you don't want to have high definition pictures. But standardly, the better the picture, the higher the dollar in your pocket, the better price you'll get. So anyway, I lost my train of thought there. So what you want to do is I was telling you what I do. So I do a floor plan. I do photography. I do video. I do, listing on Facebook, all that sort of stuff. But you should look for, well, why do you think that that reaches that group. Ask them, why does that reach that group? What's the deal here? They should know that. They should know that. And ask them what the downsides are of your house, because there's no perfect house. There isn't, just isn't. Your house isn't it. My house isn't it. Haven't seen it yet. But if you have, you'll have people coming in and they'll find what's wrong. Buyers agents are looking for what's wrong as well as what's right. And buyers will search out what's wrong. I tell my buyers, if you can find 3 things wrong in the house, get out of there. It's not for you. So anyway, so find out what's wrong, and how are you going to overcome that objection to what's wrong with the house? You know what I'm saying? So how do you find the agent that is going to have a strong marketing plan, that's going to be able to negotiate well for you? Actually, let me go back because I forgot one thing. I was going to talk about commission. Like some people say, like, oh, it's all about commission. You want to pay the least amount of commission. You're right. You do want to pay the least amount of commission. It's expensive. I'm telling you, I paid it over and over again. I've lived in, I moved to my area in 1993. I've lived in Durham, Cary, Raleigh, Holly Springs, Fuquay, and now I live in Willow Spring. Guess what? I've sold a lot of houses of my own, and I've paid a lot of commission to buyer's agents. Obviously, I could represent myself, but I paid a lot of paid a lot of commission to buyer's agents. It's hard. It's hard to do. It stinks. You see a big number and you're like, oh my gosh. So you want to get some bang for that buck. You know what I mean? You really do. You need to get some. So whenever you're talking to the agent about their commission, remember all commissions are negotiable. So when you talk to them, ask how the commission works. Are they going to split it with with the buyer's agent? What's the best they can do for you? If they say the best I can do for you is this number, and then you throw out a much less number, and they're like, okay, very easily, I would take that as a warning. Because, again, I told you before, all the stuff that is going out the door. If they are just taking the lowest amount and they can't negotiate from themselves, they're giving up. You're not going to get the whole. They're not going to do everything that they were going to do for somebody who's paying a little bit more. And furthermore, they can't negotiate. They can't negotiate for themselves. How are they going to negotiate for you? For real? Like, think about that. The other thing that I would give you a heads up with, if you're looking for agents and you're looking in a list and you see a list of people and some of them have really bad pictures on there, if they have really bad pictures on there, they can't market themselves. So how are they going to market for you? So you're hiring somebody to market for you, to negotiate for you. You're hiring someone who knows the market and is going to bring in the best dollar for you. Somebody who's going to entice other agents. You want somebody who knows how to get along with other agents. You want somebody who's diplomatic and has their stuff together. So, don't think that commission is the end all be all. Really, I can't tell you. I've lost to really low ball commission companies. I've lost. I've gone in and competed against them and lost. Guess who sold the house though later on? It was me. People called me and they're like, yeah, it sat on the market for 6 months, didn't sell. I think now we need to have it marketed. Well, you just spent 6 months paying a mortgage you didn't have to do. That was more expensive. And now there's a record that you did that. Like the house was on the market and it didn't sell. So think long and hard about quality. You know what I mean? Be careful with, if you live in an area though that people are driving by all the time and people will just come up to your door and offer you money, you might be able to just stick a sign out there. You're fine. You might be able to do that. But if you're like the rest of us, you're going to need to do some marketing, and you're going to have somebody who knows how to get things done. You know, in a seller's market, you know, you hear like, oh, not, you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that. I've actually had some of my sellers say, Christina, you don't really need to do all that. Yes, I do. One, because it has my name on it and I'm known to present a house that sparkles. Two, I want to make sure that you are the top of the heap. So I've gone through buyers markets where you couldn't give a house away, for God's sakes. You had to market it to death to get anybody interested because, you know, there was so much. But today, and there was 50 houses that were competing against my listing. Today, there might be 15, but it's still, you want yours to be the top of the 15. I can tell you, so last year I had 2 houses that sold by people who didn't walk through the house. They didn't walk through the house. They virtually walked through in the virtual tour. They did the 3D virtual tour, but they didn't see the house until they came a week later with their moving truck. For real. So that was all about the marketing. I've sat at plenty of closing tables across from the buyer and said, hey, I have to ask you, what attracted you about that house? Because realistically, it's usually the buyer who finds it first. The buyers, like, you know, they're getting a drip of like what comes on the market instantly. And they look and they're like, oh my God, that's awesome. And then they call their agent. And so you want to be that house where the people are going, wow, that looks good, you know? So anyway, I'm going on a rant about that because I like marketing and I know it works. My clients have told me over and over again, I've seen my clients get good money with it. It's just the way to go. Just the way to go. So how do you find these agents? So you find a trusted agent and ask them to go out and help you find one. That has happened to me a lot the last year. I'm telling you, I've had people from like all over the country. It was just weird to me. When I looked down, I was like, oh my God, I did a lot of referrals. I like went out and hunted down like the right agent. The other way you could do it is ask your family or friends. The key thing that you want to do is find a trusted agent. Find somebody that you really trust. So then if you don't feel comfortable doing all of that, then go online. Google is your friend. Google's awesome. So what you can do is just put in like, find someone to sell my home in and put your name of your town. And you'll get a list of people and, look at the list and say, oh, that person looks like might be a good fit. That person might be a good fit. I have to tell you, be careful with the halo effect though. I don't know how many times I've heard, well, they just look like they would be a realtor. They would look good on HGTV. HGTV tends to put the pretty realtor on, it's TV. But it may not be the prettiest realtor that is the right option. And I'm telling you that because I'm a middle-aged, redheaded, overweight realtor who can get the job done. Okay. So just be careful of the halo effect. This industry does attract like some young, very pretty people. And, some of them are fantastic. They're really fantastic. When I first came into this business, I was young and I was pretty, I think. But I knew what I was doing. So just know that, like, be careful of that halo effect. I would say that with anything for sure. But, if you look at the list and you see, that person would be a good fit, that person would be a good fit, I think, then go Google their name and you'll see some information about them. You'll see references. You can see references from, if you Googled realtors, you'll see references from Realtor, Zillow, LinkedIn, Google, and don't pay attention going back to that firm. If you go in and you look at the firm and the firm has bad, the firm is a 2 out of 5. That might mean that there's a couple of agents that aren't good and people put comments on there. Again, that's why you should look at the person because a firm is a group of people. You want to look at the person and go and look at their individual references. Are the references consistent? They're validated, so you know that they're good. Google validates, Zillow, everybody validates them. So you can kind of look and see, wow, I keep hearing the same things. I keep hearing that he's got, he's really good with negotiating. I hear that he's good with, people. I hear that he's gone above and beyond, blah, 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 blah. So look for that, okay? And then the other thing is just sit back and think about, who do I trust? Do I trust this person? Do I think that they're going to be good for what I need? Are they going to be, if you're the kind of person who needs precise answers, are they going to be that person? Are they going to be, like, I've worked for quite a few people who are, really high up management, and they don't want me calling saying, hey, how are you? How's your kids doing? They want to hear, hey, you had 5 showings and this is the feedback. So you want to have somebody that can deal with your personality. You want to have a conversation about what you're anticipating, what you want. You want to know, like, when they get an offer, how is that handled? Are they going to send you some information to show how that will affect your bottom line? Are they going to send you a net sheet? Are they going to screen it for things that are important? So I'll give you a perfect example. I've had multiple offers a good time this year, and I've been able to look at the multiple offers and tell my clients, like, well, I have to tell you, this person looks like they don't have much money, and furthermore, they're not with a bank that is, well known for getting the deal done. So it may fall apart. This person, blah, blah, blah. So this person maybe is not working with an agent that's responsive. So you want to have somebody who can do all that sort of stuff. All that being said, I'm telling you that because I'm a seasoned agent. I can also tell you, though, that, I've hired other agents that work for me that were go-getters, brand new. I had trained them. I set them out in the world, and, I walked them through it. So please don't rule out a new agent. Consider the new agent if they're a go-getter. Just the only thing that you need to know is, do they have somebody backing them up? Do they have somebody that is like, that they can turn to? Because every day you learn something new in this business, so they need to have somebody that they can turn to and say, what do you think of these 3 offers? Give me some feedback on that, So I hope all of that helps. To recap, basically what you want to do is make sure that you're hiring somebody who's got good references and a good reputation. Know that they are, that they're working for you, that you want to hear them talking about time and money that they're going to spend on you to get your house sold. You want to hear that they're going to actually do marketing, whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, because you always want to look awesome. And you also want to hear that they're able to negotiate. And one of the ways you can check that is negotiate your commission with them. Negotiate it. And then the last thing is, please, don't think like the firm is the deal, or that, the pretty person is the deal. Not HGTV, not McDonald's. But really look for somebody who's going to be a fit for you. My clients stay my clients. They stay with me for a good long time. I've had people I've sold 5 houses to over those years. They move as much as I do. Realtors typically do this thing where we will buy something, and when the market gets good, we see our own money in it, and then we sell it and buy again. It's funny. Last year in the seller's market, I was looking, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many realtors selling their house. So many. That's one of the indications is the seller's market. How many realtors are getting on the MLS? So, well, I hope all of that helps you, and I hope if you have any questions or anything, you'll give me a call. Again, my name is Christina McCaffrey. I'm at 919-868-4310. My email is christina@triangletrusted.com. My website is triangletrusted.com. And if you're in the Triangle, if you're in Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, or the surrounding area, please call me. I'd like to chat with you and see if I can sell your house. And hopefully it'll be a fit. And but if it's not, I'll be able to at least give you some insight. So I wish you luck selling your house. And again, feel free to reach out, and good luck with it. And I hope you get a new house that's lovely, that you absolutely love, that everything works out. Thanks for listening to me today, and you take care. Bye bye now.